as ginger and turmeric. Other shelves held tin canisters full of ground powders, tiny tin scoops tied to the handles with coarse black yarn. A series of drawers covered the back half of the shop, each of them labelled in a painstaking, round running hand by Lucy's grandfather. There hadn't been any dried crocodile dung in stock for 80 years or so, but the label remained, a source of amusement and conjecture for those waiting in line. The shop had stood since the beginning of the last century, and even on this, her absolute worst day, Lucy gave in. She wasn't going to be the Peterson that broke tradition and turned a patient away. Even though today was Lucy's worst day ever, that didn't mean it should be terrible for everyone. "For anyone else, a tooth is threepence," Lucy said as she pulled on her brown linen treatment coat. "So I'm not accused of taking food from the mouths of your weans." She paused to pull a jar of eucalyptus oil out from a drawer and set it on the counter. "I suppose I can charge you 2pence and throw in a boiled sweet for each of them." Satisfied with the bargain, the man climbed into her treatment chair in the back room, holding on to the padded armrests and squeezing his eyes shut in anticipation. Lucy spilled a few drops of the oil on a handkerchief and tied it over her nose. While the scent of eucalyptus was strong enough to bring tears to her eyes, the smell from the man's rotted tooth was even stronger. She numbed his gums with oil of clove as she examined the rotting tooth and explained to him what she was going to do. His discomfort was so great the man waved away her warnings, and so, with a practised grip, Lucy used her pincers to pull out the offending tooth. Both wept, him from the pain, she from the stench, as Lucy explained how to best keep the rest of his teeth from suffering the same fate. "You're an angel, miss," the man exclaimed. At least Lucy hoped he said angel. His cheek was beginning to swell. She sent him off with the promised sweets as well as a tin of tooth powder, and, seeing there were no customers in the shop, she locked the front door and closed the green curtains over the street-facing windows to indicate the shop was closed. Lucy's younger sister, Juliet, was out seeing those patients who were not well enough to visit the shop, and her brother David could be anywhere in the capital city. Some days he was up with the sun, dusting the shelves and charming the clientele into doubling or even tripling their purchases. Other days he was nowhere to be found. Days like today. Worst days. Lucy sighed a long drawn-out sigh that she was embarrassed to hear exuded a low note of self-pity along with despair. Exhaustion weighed down her legs and pulled at her elbows while she cleaned the treatment chair and wrote the details of the man's procedure in her record book. She'd not slept well last night, nor the night before. In fact, Lucy hadn't had an uninterrupted night's sleep for 9 years. Standing with a quill in her hand, she gazed at the etching hanging on the far wall of the back room, sandwiched between a tall, thin chest of drawers and a coat rack covered in bonnets and caps, left behind by forgetful patients. Made in exchange for a treatment long forgotten, the artist had captured her mother and father, posed side by side in a rare moment of rest. Constantly moving, and yet always with time for a smile for whoever was in pain or in need of a sympathetic ear, her mother had been a woman of great faith in God and even greater faith in her husband. "We work all day so we can make merry afterward," her father would tell Lucy when she complained about the long hours. Indeed, evenings in the Peterson household were redolent with the sound of music and camaraderie, her father loving nothing more.